Okay, so e-marketing. It's kind of really important that you have a bit of a checklist and a bit of an understanding about what it is that you're trying to achieve. So we've covered off on a lot of that, like, your considerations, who the people are, what platforms they're going to use, but how many of you use email marketing? Couple more. Okay, what platform do you use for it?
I don't know, head office.
Head office uses email marketing? All right, cool. All right, so what I've done is I've got these email marketing checklists for you all, cheat sheets, so you can take one and pass them on. All right, so I'm not going to go through this line by line because that would be silly, but basically this is like your bulletproof creating an email marketing campaign checklist. If you follow all of the steps in this, it is unlikely that you're going to send something out with a grammatical error or with vacant space or something else, okay? If you're not using email marketing to market your venue, I'd recommend that you take a look at it, because when you use it in tandem with your social media marketing, it can be really, really powerful, because you can drive traffic to your social media accounts. With good email marketing, the likes of MailChimp or Aweber or custom built solutions, you can embed links in them and it will tell me exactly who's opened that email. It will tell me how many times they've opened it and whether or not they've forwarded it. So I can open up an email campaign and go, well, this person's opened that 6 times. So I can be really sneaky and I can just drop them a follow-up email that suggests that maybe they want to look at the event that they keep clicking on the link for. Okay. Last chance to book, running out of time. You can, like in a really good email marketing tool, you can automate that to, go, so this person clicks on this link, bang, they get this next follow-up email in 7 days, and then they get this, and then they get that. Okay, so there's all sorts of really cool stuff that you can do with it now. It's a great tool to work out if you're hitting the mark with your communication. Okay, because if your open rate is only 10%, then your list isn't either your list isn't very good, or your information that you're giving them isn't very interesting. Okay, so best effort that I've ever done on an open rate on an email list was I sent it to 6,500 people, so a cold contact list that I'd built up over 13 years, saying, do you want to have coffee? And I got a 92% open rate, and I booked my diary up for 3 weeks straight without paying attention because I got excited. All these people were ringing me to have coffee. I was like, sure, I can do coffee. So the point being, be really clear about what you want out of it. So you've got this fantastic online community. Let's say you've got so many followers on Twitter, you've got so many fans on Facebook. Facebook is a pay-to-play model now. Anyone that thinks that Facebook's great free marketing is probably sorely mistaken, because Facebook needs to keep their shareholders happy, so they need to make money. Okay, so the reason that your posts don't go very far anymore is because Facebook only shows it to a 10% sample audience. Okay, so you might have 2,000 fans, Facebook's going to show it to this many of them, and if they don't choose to engage with that post, Facebook determines that that content is junk and they won't show it to anybody else. Okay, unless you pay to boost it. All right, and if you're boosting a post, you want to make sure that it's got a really clear call to action, because otherwise you're just wasting your money. Great example of that, a advertising company that shall remain nameless ran a sponsored campaign on LinkedIn. So that means that they paid LinkedIn per click to target, obviously, someone that fit my description because it came up in my newsfeed. And the boosted post was pushing me to Apple's website. So they were paying to advertise Apple. So it's important to be clear about the web links and where you're sending people to on your website. Okay, so if you're promoting an event, for argument's sake, and you send them to your website, so you can run a boosted post that's sending them straight to the website, which is where you want people to go, but don't send them to your homepage. Okay, what's wrong with that? So if you send people to your homepage, they start to get confused because that's not what they clicked on. They wanted to go to the wine tasting, or they wanted to go wherever they were going. If you don't take them to that page and I can't click, book and pay, then you've lost me, okay? A friend of mine's in the web design field. They say that you have 2 clicks and 7 seconds to convert someone before you lose them from your site. Okay, so if you're advertising the football finals and you send me to a homepage that talks all about functions, you've already lost me, okay? Cool, so e-marketing checklist, fantastic resource. Take it away, use it, photocopy it. It's not mine. You can see on the back page the guy that wrote it. It's a downloadable resource. Okay, so that's one. Then you come down to, you've got all this social media stuff. What do you do with it? So here's an example of a content calendar. All right, content calendars are fantastic for a couple of reasons, okay? It's a bit hard to read that one up there. It maps out what you're trying to do. So when are you tweeting about what? When are you posting what on Facebook? At what point do you need the venue manager's sign off on X, Y, Z? Okay, or do you need the head chef's photos of the latest menu? So you can actually map all this stuff out in an Excel spreadsheet, or even better, we use, like with a lot of clients, we just use Google Calendar. So we just create a new calendar, we share it with people, we put the tasks in there, the reminders, so that the whole team can get involved. All right, and then it's really easy for me to chase up a client or a direct report if they haven't done what I need them to do, and then you can schedule it all out. This is also good because if you have to report higher up the food chain, you can go, this is everything that I'm doing and have done. At which point they go, oh, that's fantastic, and they leave you alone. Trust me, I've been there before, okay? So if you can show what you've mapped out and planned out and what you're doing, the powers that be are usually happy because stuff is happening and you can demonstrate that stuff is happening, all right? You can also use it to communicate with your team. So how many of you manage teams? You've got staff underneath you that report directly to you. How important is it that you get their buy-in for the marketing activities that you're undertaking? Yeah? So what do you do to get that buy-in? How often do you communicate with them? These are the things that we're trying to achieve. Okay, so when I had venues before, in the hallway, the staff hallway, there's always a staff hallway that you go through back of house. We used to have massive whiteboards up there, one for each department. It said, here's your weekly sales last week, here's your target for this week, here's what you have to do in order to achieve that, here are the marketing activities that we're doing this week to make that successful. Okay? And they had some tasks that they had to achieve in that process. If they managed to do it, it was like big gold stars, or there was some kind of staff incentive that backed it up. So communication's key. If you want the team to buy in, you've got to share with them what you're trying to do. And now we're going to have a bit of fun. So I'm going to go through some tools that are available to do all of your content for free. And let me just see. Is anyone here from 5245? She didn't come? That's upsetting. Okay. All right. They'll watch it? That's good. Hello, 5245. Okay, so how many of you have done video in your businesses before? How many of you have not done video because it's going to cost you $1,000 to have someone come in and do it? Yeah? Flair's going, yes. Okay, so Animoto is a free tool. Notice the word free. It allows you to take photo and or video and overlay it into a template with a backing soundtrack that you can use from them, so it's royalty free, it's copyright compliant, to create a 30-second video. There's a pro version, so if you want to make longer videos and lots of them, you can pay $250 for the year and you can make videos as long as you like. Okay, this is an example of one that I did last night in 3.5 minutes. So I took photos off their Facebook page, the logo off their Facebook page, and hopefully the internet doesn't buffer on me.
When the spring light falls into winter night, hold on, our summer isn't gone, and to think I lied when I said goodbye, it's true.
It's pretty good for 3.5 minutes work, don't you think? Yeah? Ooh, go Simmy! I'm not a video editor. I don't know how to do this stuff. This is drag and drop, okay? So I guess the point of this is in social media, you know how I said, like, you need to convey the emotion of the venue. You need to convey the story of the experience, whether it's photos of guys in the front bar and the TAB, you know, having a Sunday race type experience. There's different soundtracks and different templates to do that. Okay, this is the other reason that I love Animoto is that you can export these up to YouTube. So all of a sudden you can have a YouTube channel and it's not really costing you anything. YouTube's the second largest search engine in the world. Okay, it's right there with Google. Good news, even though Google owns it, it's not as sophisticated as Google yet. So if you, in the About section of your YouTube video, stuff a whole heap of keywords in there effectively in a way that makes sense, you're going to show up in search results ahead of your competitors. Okay, which again is an important thing to do. Okay, so that's great, but what about Pinterest? Okay, so I'm just going to cheat and show you how simple it is. So pin words, which I don't think is on your cheat lists with all of the web addresses. Pinwords is just a really good way to change, you know, what you're actually putting on there, do quotes and the like. We go continue. Okay, so obviously that's a pretty basic version of it, but you can see you can change the colours, you can change the text. So all of the people who are doing this stuff, you know, again, there you go. Okay, from there, if I wanted to, I could then pin that on Pinterest. I can link it to a page on the website. So again, Pinterest is a really good traffic generation tool, particularly for food, beverage outlets and the like. Okay, women all over the country are planning their weddings on secret pin boards. Okay, foodies all over the country are pinning their favourite summer, spring, winter, autumn dishes, and so your opportunity is to do the same. Recite, this is another really good one where you can create quotes and download them straight off the bat. So you see people, they put these motivational quotes on there all the time. That's nowhere near as entertaining as getting the locals in your front bar to come out with some perlers and turning them into quotes, I tell you. Okay, and if you start showcasing your locals on your social media accounts, they will start engaging because they love it. Okay, a lot of people come to venues because it's part of their life. You guys are considered part of their family. All right, so the fact is it's worth rewarding them for that. Okay, it's worth actually thanking them in some way by acknowledging them, letting them know that you're actually listening to them. All right, so if Joe Bloggs, who's been in the front bar for years, has a great story or a quote or has something to say, here's your opportunity to showcase it really easily. Okay, or to just be cheeky, so you choose which one you want. Okay, start. Okay, there you go. Ooh, done. All right, so from there, I can send it to Facebook or to Twitter. I can download it and use it wherever I like on my screens or whatever else. I can post it to Pinterest or I can email it to someone if I want to be really cheeky. All right, so a lot of this stuff is just about having a bit of fun with it and using creative ways to create your content. Okay, so, and then you've got Canva, which is really, really cool. So you want to go play with this one. How many of you don't necessarily like to pay graphic designers every time you need new point of sale? Yeah, those bills get a little bit irritating. Man with his hand up the back. All right, free tool, okay? Really cool because you can do stuff that's print ready. All right. You can do Twitter posts, social media, presentations, posters, Facebook cover photos. So you've got a special event, you want to change something. Okay, so for argument's sake, Where did we go? If we're doing social media graphics, so you want to do a post. Hopefully it's going to load for me. Wakey. Okay, there's thousands of templates in here to choose from. Okay, and all you have to do is be able to drag and drop. That's it, and double click on stuff. Okay, the reason I love this is I don't know how to use Photoshop, so this is actually really good for me. So if, for argument's sake, let's go, you've got an event or something else, you can take their template, and if you don't like, see how it's got, can you kind of see, it's not, yeah, in the background it's got checked lines. That means that they want, that's their image, it's going to cost you $1 if you use their image. So you go, well, I actually don't want to use their image, but I want to upload my own. Here's some I prepared earlier. Okay, so now I've changed the photo. If I want to delete stuff or I want to change the text overlays, okay, I can go in here and go, well, actually I want to put, you know, that on there, but that's too big. So I want to go in there, then I want to double click in it, change the color, do what I like. Okay, pretty easy. It's what you pay graphic designers a lot of money for. Or you can spend a little bit of time yourself. It doesn't take long to knock this stuff together when you know, and you know better than the graphic designer the look and the feel that you're looking for. Most of my time used to be taken back with that. Email the graphic designer, no, can you change that font? Can you make that color darker? Can you do this? They email it back and go, you've used your 2 edits now, that's an extra $50. Okay, so this is really good. You can download it, like I said, print ready to go. If you download it, then you upload it onto Facebook. It's optimized for social, so it comes out the right size. Okay, so it's not too big. Really good for showcasing events, specials, and things happening in the venue. So you get the general idea. There you go, honeycomb. So we were talking about, up the back, about clean eating, paleo smoothie breakfasts for gym junkies, yeah? Something along those lines. Okay, so the golden rule in food is you need to make me hungry, okay? At the end of the day, if I'm seeing your post and you're not making me hungry, it's not gonna drive me to the venue. And I have like a 3-hour memory cycle for this stuff when it comes up in your feed. So it really needs to grab me and go, you know what, I'm going there for dinner or I'm going there for breakfast. So timeliness of your posts becomes really, really important. All right, so if you're trying to get me for breakfast, this needs to go up at 6 a.m. Okay, because then it's in my feed as I'm going into exercise or just as I'm coming out of exercising. So then I go off to the Mile End Hotel. Yep, for brekkie. What time do you open for breakfast? What time?
9 o'clock.
It's too late. I've already had breakfast. 8 a.m. I'm done. Hopefully you have some people getting up later than me though. My kids have me up at 5, so. All right. Can you guys see how this stuff is useful in terms of bringing your content to life? Yeah? Okay, so you're only really controlled by how creative, quirky and fun you are. All right, so again, it has to marry into how you're going about stuff. Okay, it has to marry into that personality of the venue. It has to marry into who it is that you're trying to speak to. One of the best things that you can do is get a group of your target audience in a room, buy them lunch and ask them lots of questions. Okay, so if you hand pick your target audience that you've already got in the venue and talk to them about what they like, what they'd be interested in, show them some stuff, would this be good? It's a focus group for marketing, yeah? Okay, that target group feels really important because you've just bought them lunch and said that their opinion really matters to you. So then they go out and brag to all their friends that they were in a focus group for the Lonsdale Hotel or wherever it was. But you get some really good data because what we think is interesting to our patrons and what the patrons actually think is interesting are completely different things most of the time. Okay, makes sense. And now we're going to take a break.